Well, teen drinking parties are causing a headache for Buffalo City Metro down in the Eastern Cape. Now, last night, the latest incident, scores of children and teenagers had descended on East London's beachfront drinking alcohol in the rain. Let's get the ideas then from the Buffalo Municipality spokesperson, Samkelo Ngwenya, about what they can do about this. Hello to you, Samkelo. Appreciate the time. Happy Easter to you and yours, by the way. Let's just talk about this rise in these incidents. We are seeing a spike in these sort of teenage drinking parties. Has it always been this high, or are we just seeing more of it on social media?
Well, as you know, in Buffalo City, we're coming from the backdrop of the travel tragedy. So from our side, we've been picking up that there is a trend in terms of just teen invasions. It's malls, it's sporting events, as well as at the beachfront. And these are all linked, with school holidays, whether it's school exams or school reopenings. So it's something that we are definitely picking up that is a trend, and it's becoming something that we have to do something about it together with all those that are involved, as seen last night.
Yeah, we'll talk about how we can try and get more involved in this as communities as well. Do we know why this new trend is coming about? I'm sure people would have seen a few weeks ago a horde of teenagers, that's what I'm going to call them, a horde of teenagers running around causing chaos in a big shopping centre up here in Gauteng, and now taking over the city beachfront as well. Do we know why this is happening?
I think social media has got something to do with it. I think young people, they're starting to get influenced by a lot of things to emulate certain things. We actually don't have a pulse to it as of yet, but we think that it's interlinked with this whole phenomenon of trying to be cool, trying to get content, and just going about it the wrong way.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I do think social media has a lot to do with it. I couldn't agree any more at all. So where do we now start to try and get on top of this? I'll tell you why it's an important question, because hopefully something bad doesn't ever happen. But unfortunately, when you're combining a lot of people, irresponsible teenagers in this case, it seems, and alcohol, I get the sense it's only a matter of time until we end up with a tragedy on our hands.
Well, we are seized with it, We've got a very sad history of having seen teenagers, 21 of them disappearing through means of alcohol. So we're not taking this lightly. We're following each and every post. We have to be in that space. But I think there's a lot of stakeholders that are involved. At the moment, we are now making a call to parents, because every child comes from a home. I think parents need to take responsibility. But from our side, the executive mayor, Councillor Princess Fak, who has emphasized that immediately when the schools are reopening, we need to engage all the stakeholders, from the people that are selling alcohol to teenagers, to the people that are transporting them to these venues, up to the level of law enforcement, our safety and security cluster with the police. There's a lot of that people that are involved. Also, this is a culture that is growing. So we need all fraternities up until, the church level. We have to try and keep this thing about young people taking on to alcohol as a means of a celebration of any reason or whatsoever.
Are we at a point yet where law enforcement are going to have to start arresting these youngsters if they're found out? Or do they get off with a warning, or what does that process look like?
Well, we have been discussing this with the South African Police Service yesterday. We're looking at what the law is saying. The law is very clear on the seller, the person selling to the teenager, so that those actions we can take. But when it comes to the actual youngsters themselves, there's areas of public drinking, so looking into tapping into that. Perhaps maybe a few hours in jail will wake some of them up. And also, of course, the Child Protection Act is very explicit on the role of the guardian on a child. So we're looking at that, but they're coming in numbers, so we actually need to plan as well, so that when they invade any other space, we are able to cope with the magnitude.
When it comes to trying to plan and handle this, Samkelo, I'll leave this as my last question to you. I suppose the difficulty is right now, you don't know it's happening until you see it on social media. But I suppose there could be indicators like, for example, now public holidays and school holidays. I imagine you're looking at some sort of calendar where you could see a jump in these sort of events.
Definitely, Gareth. We know for a fact that we're going to the matric farewells. There's going to be after parties. That's why we're making a call to BNBs and everyone that's going to be booking these teenagers So we should be able to use a little bit of intelligence, not only on social media, but just look into the calendar. So the matric exams, the June exams, all these public holidays and anything linked, whether it's sport, the ones that we really cannot predict is the malls, because, but at least one should know, Gareth, that at month end, most likely these things are taking place, but as well these teenagers have got a bit of money.
Yeah, that's always the problem as well, when money is combined with free time, combined with social media, combined with alcohol, and here we are with the big issue down in Buffalo City. I appreciate your time, Samkelo. Have a wonderful Easter to you and yours and your colleagues. Samkelo Ngwenya joining us from Buffalo Municipality. He is the spokesperson there. We'll keep an eye on that story. Very worrying. There is this new trend of teenagers invading public spaces, often drinking and causing chaos. It is a big problem at the moment, certainly down in Buffalo City.